Man, gather round. OG Silverback here. And today, I have a tale of victory. I have a tale of glory. How few strong and ferocious men banded together to formulate what is called beast mode law. And by beast mode law, they decided to stand and fight and die to give their very last breath so all the world would know they will not be victims of tyranny or living in fear. Hey guys, today's topic is to formulate your calling or to find out what your what is. There's a very good book I would suggest to you guys because being a modern day warrior scholar is not just about the physicality of training in martial arts or even the spiritual aspect or the energy flow or any of that esoteric stuff, which is good. That stuff is good. It also comes down to educating yourself. And one thing for sure I can say about some of the masters that I have the pleasure of training with, whether it was Concho at Sibakan Jiu Jitsu, shout out to you, Concho, Casey Lake over at Integrative Martial Arts, Monia Z over at Commando Krav Maga, or may he rest in peace, Shihan Eddie Stewart of Bojuka Ryu. They all inculcated in me to be an avid reader of the history of martial arts, the philosophy of martial arts, and the way of martial arts. And that has made me a much better modern day warrior scholar because to be a true warrior scholar philosopher, you have to know not just how to fight, but when to fight and why. Because most importantly, if you read the book, The Art of War, they said it's actually the art of fighting without fighting. If you could figure out a way to end a conflict without fighting, you are, my friend, a modern day warrior scholar. So what I want to share with you is this book is called What is Your What? I would recommend that you read that book, guys, because it helps you to determine what it is that you most value in this life. What is your life's purpose? What is your life's mission? And that's why I put the video on here of the Tom Platz video called Your Calling. And a lot of you guys here on the Warriors Den are like, hey, what does bodybuilding have to do with martial arts? And I just want to share something with you guys. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, I was one of those kids. I grew up in the 60s. And back then, when you did, whether it was boxing or wrestling or martial arts, like traditional martial arts, man, they didn't believe that in weight training. They thought that weight training made you muscle bound. It made you slow, It didn't allow you to flow with your execution of your strikes, right? My dad didn't care nothing about that. He said, "You will lift weights. I don't care what your instructor says." And that was one of the best things he ever did for me and my brothers and my cousins. Because, dude, when it comes down to competition, whether I did judo or did jujitsu or whether I did wrestling or whether I did, what else was a very physical martial art that I did? Karate, like old school karate, there was some grappling in it as well. But, it came down to if you have two equally skilled opponents, the one who has more strength, like you're equally skilled in conditioning, like your level of cardio, your technique, your execution of technique, your timing, all that. It comes down to who's stronger. So I was very fortunate that we did a lot of strength training. We had weights at the house. But the point I'm making is this, guys. In this life, you have to determine what your calling is, what your driving passion is, because then once you understand that, and I just want to share with you, at 60, I'm about to become 61. I'm very thankful to the powers that be that I've arrived at this age because I've made a lot of poor life choices that could have ended my life, but I'm very fortunate to be able to speak to you men. And I want to share with you the secret to this life. Whether you're 14, 24, 34, 44, 54, or even if you're 64, guys, if you look at your life as a modern day warrior, scholar, philosopher, and you're not living a dream, guys, because you are the creator of your reality. Believe that. I know it sounds like some artsy fartsy, the secret thing, but trust me, I'm living a dream life because I've formulated it in my head, and I want to share with you the secret to doing that. is to actually, um, sorry, I got interrupted by a call, is to actually figure out what your calling is and your passion, and then you orchestrate or you architect your life around that. Anything that is not in alignment with that calling or that path that you have chosen, dude, either eliminate it or give less attention to that, because whatever you give attention to grows. And there's a story. I want you guys to Google it. I want to talk to a lot of you young guys because when I grew up, I was talking to a female acquaintance the other day. When I grew up, we didn't have cell phones. Matter of fact, when I grew up, we had a phone. It was like a party line. You lived in the house, and when you pick up the phone, other people can pick it up too when it rings, and everybody can talk at once. It was really a weird thing, but we were happy to have a phone. So we never grew up attached to our cell phones and all that stuff. So what I'm saying to you young guys is this, man. It's being that you're on your cell phone all the time, which I think is feminine characteristics. No offense to anyone. All this vanity, how you look and how you feel. Old school, man, we didn't care about that. What we cared about was results. Results orientation. That's why when you take the personality profile, I'm a director. I'm straight to the point. I'm aggressive. I get things done. I'm goal oriented. I don't care how I look or how I feel. If I have an objective, I will carry it out as long as I have my breath in my life. But what I'm trying to say is this: you young guys who are always on your phone taking selfies, having them in the gym and even bringing them to the dojos and stuff, man. Since you're on your phone all the time, dude, if I ever say a concept to you or a word or a phrase or an ideology that you don't understand, just Google it into your smartphone, dude, so then you can therefore be enlightened and illuminated, bro. We live in the age of enlightenment. Knowledge is king. And the actual application of knowledge in your life, dude, is how you become the master of your kingdom. Heck with playing all these third-party virtual reality games. Master your own life in reality. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is you want to get to a point that you figure out what your what is. What drives you? What is your purpose on this earth? What do you, as you determine? Not some religious scholar, your parents, or society. What is it that you want as a man? And I'm here to help you to understand that we can utilize martial arts specifically to help you to get there, to architect it. Because when you live like me, my philosophy, I just want to be honest with you guys, dude. I was greatly influenced by Bruce Lee when I was a child. Like, he was the one who brought martial arts to America. And I remember prior to Bruce Lee, dude, nobody was even doing martial arts. I was doing martial arts because I used to get my ass kicked because when I moved to this country, I couldn't speak English and I looked different than the other kids. And, you know, if you're foreign, dude, and you look different than other kids, you know how kids are. They don't know. I don't hate them. They made me the strong man that I am today. That's what made me a resilient warrior, is all those ass kickings. But the point I'm making is this: my dad put us in martial arts, bro. So I was already doing martial arts. So by the time that Bruce Lee came out with his movie, I think it was Enter the Dragon, there was a phenomenon of people wanting to be involved in martial arts, and all it did was it gave me the passion and the drive to continue, because I did it because my dad would whoop my ass. If I didn't go to martial arts, my dad would kick my ass. And then when I came home from martial arts, if I didn't practice right, he'd kick my ass. And then when I was at the dojo, if I didn't do it, because I wasn't really motivated, you know, I just thought it was something I had to do because my dad made me. I wasn't really motivated until I saw Enter the Dragon, and I saw the level of efficacy that Bruce Lee demonstrated his techniques with the 1-inch punch and the moves and whoa, and just his, you know, flashiness. That gave me my what in life, you know what I mean? So I used my martial arts to become very prolific in sports and weight training and bodybuilding and powerlifting and things of that physical nature. But I didn't have the forethought to build up my intellect at the same time. It wasn't until I joined the military. So I want to say, I want to make this video short. Figure out what your calling is. And if you like to have a dialect or an interaction or a brainstorming or a mind melding, I'd like you guys to go over to my Patreon channel, Patreon OG Silverback, and sign up for my $50 tier, where that's the first tier where you get a 30-minute coaching call with me. And trust me when I tell you guys, I have nothing but good reviews on the coaching calls, because one thing I know for sure, like I said, I don't care if you're 14, 24, 34, 44, 54, 64, even 74. As long as you have the life breath in you from the spirit that animates your physical carnality, we can sit down together as men and we can figure out what your what is, your driving passion, your purpose on this earth. And you go from zero, which meaning that you're not there, to let's say 10, till we're getting there where you're living a dream life. And we will do that together as men. And I encourage you to live your dreams, man, because what would you do if you knew, dare to dream if you knew that you could not fail? I want you to think about that. Until next time, OG Silverback out.